Hey people, Demon here, and today I am reviewing Secret Magic Control Agency. This is a new Netflix movie, and I gotta say, it was fairly good. I gotta split this into two parts again. Spoiler free and spoilers. I'll give you a warning when the spoilers are coming up. So spoiler free. So let's talk about spoiler free. So spoiler free, let's talk about animation first. Animation was actually fairly good. I did like the animation, except for a few parts here and there, especially the side characters. They kind of look like Barbie dolls almost. Like, especially the female side characters, like the side characters that you barely see. They almost look like Barbie dolls. It's kind of weird, kind of quirky, I guess, but just kind of weird. So that's a little bit weird. Storyline, very PG, rated PG, I guess, for kids, obviously. Quite funny, but addicting. Not addicting, sorry. Quite funny, but predictable. That's the word I'm looking for. Addicting. What the heck am I talking about? Pretty predictable on certain parts. And on other parts, it was pretty good. There was like one thing that I didn't see coming, but we'll get into that in spoilers. But yeah, so plot line, fairly good. I like the whole concept and stuff, and I like the whole plot line. I wish some side characters would be more fleshed out, but that's beside the point. But all in all, fairly good plot line. And then, what else? Voice acting? Very good voice acting. Fairly good voice acting. Just a nice cast of voice actors, I guess. And then, what else to talk about? That's about it. That's about it that I can talk about without spoiling it. So those are the things I like. And some of the things I don't like. But those are the things I like. It's a good movie. I would suggest going to watch it. I think your kids would like it too. But anyways, let's get into spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, share this video, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below.
Okay, so spoilers. Okay, so this movie starts off with the kid being kidnapped by food. It's kind of weird looking, it's kind of funny looking, but it's interesting. The king, I didn't say kids, did I? King. Then Gretel, who is a agent for a magical law reinforcement thing that keeps tabs on all magical beings and all magical sorcerers and witches and all that stuff. She is on the case trying to find the king. And then she's like, then the main boss says, you can't find the king by yourself, so go get your brother Hansel. And it turns out Hansel is a swindler, yet a nice guy. We find out in the first few minutes, I guess, or so, that he's a nice guy because instead of giving a amulet to a girl with a sick child, because the amulets are completely fake and they're garbage and they're useless, instead of giving that to the girl and saying like, here you go, fix your child. Instead of doing that, he gives the girl some money to actually take the child to a doctor's. So he's not completely scummy, but he is kind of scummy. So that's a pretty interesting little thing there. So Gretel goes out to arrest Hansel. She does, brings him back to the agency, and they have to work together, which Gretel absolutely hates, and Hansel says he hates, but he actually doesn't. And then we have a funny, a funny duo together, and they get turned into children at one point. Well, at like the beginning of the movie, they get turned into children. It's pretty funny. It's pretty interesting. But there is a few flaws in there. The first flaw is the main wizard of the main person of the agency, I guess you'd call it. She tells Gretel, like her best agent, by the way, but she's not like the super best yet. She tells Gretel she doesn't solve this case, she's gonna be getting coffee for the rest of her life, which is stupid because Gretel's her best agent, right? So why would you do that to her even if she failed this case? But whatever. She also not her, sorry, but there's also another one in there. When the kids are kids, when the adults are kids, I should say, Hansel and Gretel, um, they try to go back to the agency, but they can't get back. And for some reason, they don't try to like explain who they are, or maybe they do, but we just don't see it on screen, which is kind of dumb. You probably should see that stuff. And the second one is they don't show all the gadgets they have from the agency that would prove who they are because she lost her badge in the explosion that made her into a child. So they don't show them like, hey, look at all this stuff we have to show you that we're truly us. And it's kind of weird. It's kind of dumb. And a dog comes with them, by the way. They get a little candy dog that they keep. Because you need your obligative animal mascot, I guess. So that happens. And that's all good. It's all fun. And then they go on this journey to find this witch that stole the king, even though they are young children. And on this journey, they meet some people. They meet a witch that tries to eat them. Baba Yaga, I think it was. I think that's a folktale witch. At the end, she gets arrested for trying to eat children, by the way. So they find her, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool. A reference to a folktale, I guess. And then they go to a mermaid castle thing where they're almost killed, I think. No, they're almost turned to fish because they thought they were spies, but then a girl from an earlier scene that actually came into play, which I kind of like, actually, is that an earlier scene that shouldn't have been there really came into play in this scene. Where she's like, hey, that's my friend, that's the girl that saved him. Then they explain to them what happened, like they should have done with the agency. And these people are like, sorry, we don't know what happens. We don't know where these candy people go when they leave. Because that's just the way we are. So they capture the candy people and they put in a cage. And without orders, the candy people just kind of sit there and do whatever they want. So it's kind of cool to do that, but it's kind of dumb. Another thing I wanted to pick. It's kind of dumb that they never thought, like, hey, maybe we should release one of these candy people to follow them back to the hideout. But no, that's never going to happen, I guess. Only Hansel and Gretel, two adult children, can find out where the hideout is. So after that, they get to the hideout, almost get killed by a giant cookie ball that has a butt, because, you know, haha, humor. Butt humor. So they almost got killed by that, but then they get into the hideout. They get to the evil witch, and this whole time they're rebonding, by the way. This whole time they're rebonding slowly but surely. They're getting back their bond because remember, in the first place, they hated each other. But now they're getting slowly and surely back their bond. And they're after this witch, and then they finally get there. They try to rescue the king, but he's already under the witch's spell, which is a love potion spell. But they tell him to come with them, almost make it home. But then the king realizes this is Hansel. And Hansel has stolen stuff from him before. And he just like, I don't trust you. So the evil witch comes down, stops them, and throws them into a place that's going to ambernize them. Ambernize them? Encase them in amber and keep them there forever. What seemed to happen, another nitpick, it seemed to happen immediately when she did that in the first place to one of her first guards, which, by the way, you could totally tell that was going to happen to the kids. It seemed to happen immediately, and he got encased in amber. But when the kids got down there, for some reason, plot convenience, plot armor, it doesn't happen immediately. It just kind of stops, which is kind of dumb. And then, after that, Gretel starts blaming Hansel for everything, saying like, "Hey, I can do everything on my own." Blah blah blah. Like blah 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 blah. Like this is all your fault, Hansel. And then Hansel gets mad up to the point where he finally admits that there was no scholarship because Gretel got into this academy that got her into this good place by a scholarship, she thought. But actually Hansel got Gretel into that place by paying for a scholarship by becoming a shady magician, which is pretty cool. Pretty touching moment. It's actually pretty cool stuff like that. Um, because she's like the only reason you came with me is because of this thing. He's like, no, the only reason I came with you is because of you because I love you. You're my sister. You're you adult. And she's just like, no, 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 that's not true. And then she realizes like what Hansel's done for her, and she's just like, oh man, I'm a fool. Because they were orphans, and when they were orphaned, Hansel took care of his sister, obviously. So it was just this cute little thing that I really liked there. Because Hansel is a good person, even though he does bad things. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. It's just interesting little cool fact there. Um, and then they escape because cartoon logic, I guess. They go to save the kingdom, but they're too late. They save the kingdom, and then at the end, they almost die, but get saved. At the very end, they get saved, and the king congratulates them for saving the whole entire people because they pretty much cook and bait the evil queen witch at this point. I guess she is a queen at this point, but she's an evil witch who stole a queen's crown pretty much by forcing the guy that she wanted to marry her. Uh, really weird, really gross. But she stole the crown. Everybody loved her because they were all under her spell. But then they basically null and voided it by breaking the spell and almost killing the evil witch. Which is pretty cool, pretty funny. But they also kept the main villain alive, so there could be room for a part two. And I think that'd be pretty interesting because it's like a buddy cop movie at this point, you know. Hansel and Gretel are related siblings, but they're like buddy cops as well. It's pretty cool. It would be pretty interesting to see in like this kind of setting. It'd just be interesting. And if this was Disney, I'm sure they would make like a series out of this if this was Disney, but I don't think Netflix usually does that, so probably not going to happen. But just saying, it's a pretty good show. It's a pretty good movie. I did enjoy it. Uh, like some parts were meh. I could predict the storyline pretty well. Um, and some parts of the animation were like, kind of iffy there. But for the most part, good story. Um, except for the dolls, all the Barbie dolls. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit that bell notification. That's the best way to keep my channel. Link down below to my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace.
Just remind you to subscribe, hit that bell, like, comment, and share this video, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok down below.
Hey guys, this video is meant for all ages, although I do have videos meant for the older variety. Check out my channel to watch those. But since it's meant for all ages and YouTube doesn't have a button to click for all ages, they only have younger or older, I have to click the younger because some stupid stuff will happen if I don't. But that means some features are removed. Hopefully it still gets to everyone the same, young and old, but that's beside the point. That means comments are no longer there, but don't worry, I have a Twitter, so you can go down to the link below to my Twitter and comment on that because there will be a tweet about this video. So yeah, go down there and go to my Twitter. Shadow, my baby, I love you so much. You're my baby. And you love to sleep in the bathtub. 'Cause you're a weirdo. Shadow, look over here, buddy. Look over here.